I've been using the Nintendo Switch 2 for almost a year now, and honestly, it's made me change my mind about a few things. Some upgrades have made me use it way more than I ever did the original. Others haven't mattered nearly as much as I expected. So if you're wondering whether it's actually worth upgrading, here's what I think after almost a year. Okay, the first thing you notice, it's just bigger. The screen's gone up from 6.2 inches to almost 8 inches, and honestly, that alone changes how it feels to play. On the original, handheld mode always felt like a toy, something you'd use when you couldn't be near a TV. With this one, handheld feels like it was made to be played this way. And it just feels like a more serious and premium piece of hardware now. I actually went back to the original Switch for a while, just to compare, and it felt crazy. I'd been using the original for years, so I thought I'd get used to it, but going back made the Switch 2 feel like a completely different category of device. The Joy-Cons are the most impactful upgrade. Honestly, they're bigger now and actually fit in your hands. The original always felt cramped. The bigger SR and SL buttons are a noticeable upgrade over the smaller buttons on the original. The magnetic Joy-Cons are strangely satisfying. It sounds like a tiny thing, but after months of using it, I still notice it every time I attach them. Drift is technically still possible since the joystick hardware hasn't changed, though it's not happened to me yet. For me personally, the Joy-Cons and the screen size were actually bigger upgrades than any other feature on the console. I mostly play handheld, in games like Rocket League, Fortnite, and Mario Kart World, and having controllers that actually feel right in your hands makes a genuine difference over hours of play. On the original Switch, the kickstand was a joke. It was tiny and flimsy. It snapped if you looked at it wrong, and you only had one angle to prop it up at. Nintendo fixed this. It's a huge upgrade and more usable. It's bigger, sturdier, and the build quality is noticeably better. Beyond just making everything bigger, there's genuinely some new stuff here too. The Joy-Cons can now work like a mouse. You put one flat on a table and it tracks movement. It sounds gimmicky, but it actually works well and could be implemented in games in the future, even though I haven't found much use for it yet. Then there's Game Chat, which honestly feels overdue. You press the C button on the Joy-Con and you join a voice call with friends, or share your screen so they can see what you're playing. Nintendo never really had this built in before. There's also Game Share, which lets you pass your game over to a friend's console temporarily, even if you don't own it. You also now have the ability to share your game in Game Chat to other players, and they could play on their console even if they do not own the game themselves. We finally get usable internal storage at 256 GB, up from the original's 32 GB. Although it'll probably get eaten up just as fast with how big games are getting. When docked with a capable TV, the Switch 2 can output 4K at 60Hz with HDR. The original could only do 1080p docked. You can definitely notice the difference. The refresh rate has improved too, and games just run better overall. HDR makes a real difference when your TV supports it properly, but it does depend on your setup. Honestly though, for me docked mode feels like a smaller upgrade compared to handheld. The 4K is genuinely huge, but HDR is more of a nice to have than a game changer. The thing that still makes docked mode worth it are the Joy-Cons. They're bigger and more comfortable and just a better experience overall. Handheld mode is actually what makes it a compelling upgrade over the original. I was honestly pretty skeptical when Nintendo decided to keep an LCD panel over OLED, but this surprised me. For an LCD, this is sharp, clear, and genuinely good. The bezels are thinner too, which is a nice to have. There's also variable refresh rate support, which helps both performance and battery optimization, depending on what you're playing. The one trade-off is battery life. It takes a huge hit over the original, around 2 to 5 hours compared to 4 to 7. That said, charging is actually much better now. The original Switch, if it was fully dead, took forever to get back to a usable level. The Switch 2 is noticeably faster to charge, and even though the battery life has taken a hit, for me, the performance upgrades make up for it. One good thing is that your old games work with the Switch 2. And some even got upgrades, including faster load times and smoother performance overall. Some titles even received proper Switch 2 editions with better resolution. So, should you actually upgrade? If you play handheld most of the time, I think it's a pretty easy decision. Yes, the screen, the comfort, and the performance upgrades add up to a genuinely better experience, and I found myself reaching for this way more than I ever did the original. If you're a mostly docked TV player, it's still an upgrade, but just a slightly less dramatic one. The Joy-Cons are better, but if you mainly play with a Pro controller when docked, that part won't make much of a difference compared to the original. It's not perfect, battery life dropped, and Joy-Con drift still hasn't technically gone away, but overall, this feels like Nintendo is actually listening to years of complaints and fixed most of them. For handheld gaming specifically, I don't think there's a better plug-and-play solution at the moment.